his first 3 games. Now, with that being said, Coach Prime had time today, took to social media to repost something that was posted by Jamie Foxx.
Deion Sanders really just entered the chat, and Cleveland media better brace themselves for what's coming. It didn't take long for a father watching his son get disrespected to turn into a full-blown media takedown. And you know what? It's about time. This whole situation shows one thing. Deion is done playing nice with reporters who think they can lie about Shedeur Sanders without consequences. Coach Prime had time today. That's the phrase that should make every dishonest reporter in Cleveland nervous. Because when Deion has time, that means he's locked in. That means he's focused. That means he's about to expose every lie, every twisted narrative, and every piece of biased coverage that's been thrown at his son since the moment he was drafted. And he's not doing it quietly. He's doing it on social media where the entire world can see it. Deion reposted something from Jamie Foxx. Think about that for a second. Jamie Foxx, one of the biggest names in entertainment, is backing Deion and Shedeur Sanders against the Cleveland media. This isn't just a football story anymore. This is a story about powerful voices standing up against dishonest journalism. This is a story about people who are tired of watching a young man get dragged through the mud by reporters who care more about clicks than truth. The Cleveland media has been running wild with false narratives about Shedeur Sanders for months now. They've questioned his leadership. They've questioned his work ethic. They've questioned his football IQ. And none of it has been based on facts. None of it has been based on reality. It's all been speculation, assumptions, and straight-up lies designed to make Shedeur look bad so they can protect Kevin Stefanski and the front office from criticism. But Deion Sanders sees exactly what's happening. He's watched his son handle pressure with grace. He's watched him stay professional when the media attacks him. He's watched him take accountability for things that aren't his fault. And he's watched reporters twist every single thing Shedeur does to fit whatever narrative they want to push that week. And now Deion is stepping in because enough is enough. This isn't just about defending his son. This is about exposing a pattern of dishonest reporting that happens to young black quarterbacks constantly. Deion knows the game. He's been in it his entire life. He knows how the media operates. He knows how they build up certain players while tearing down others. And he's watching them do it to Shedeur in real time. And he's not going to sit back and let it continue without calling them out publicly. When Coach Prime has time, people pay attention. And right now, the Cleveland media should be paying very close attention. Because Deion Sanders is about to dismantle every lie they've told. He's about to expose every dishonest narrative they've pushed. And he's going to do it with receipts, with facts, and with the support of people like Jamie Foxx who see exactly what's going on.
Now, Jamie Foxx got up under this comment and stated, "Knock it off." Now, this is what Mary Kay stated.
And just like that, Jamie Foxx stepped in with 3 words that say everything. Knock it off. That's not a suggestion. That's not a request. That's a warning. Jamie Foxx just told the Cleveland media to stop lying about Shedeur Sanders. And when someone with that level of influence speaks up, people listen. The media can't ignore it. They can't brush it off. And they definitely can't keep pushing the same dishonest narratives without being held accountable. Knock it off. Those 3 words carry weight because Jamie Foxx isn't just some random celebrity jumping into a controversy he doesn't understand. Jamie knows football. Jamie knows the industry. And Jamie knows what it looks like when the media decides to destroy someone's reputation for no good reason. And that's exactly what he's seeing happen to Shedeur Sanders right now. So he stepped in. He backed Deion, and he told the Cleveland media exactly what they needed to hear. This is what real support looks like. When you see something wrong happening, you don't stay silent just because it's not your fight. You speak up. You use your platform. You stand with the people who are being treated unfairly. And that's exactly what Jamie Foxx is doing. He's standing with Deion Sanders. He's standing with Shedeur Sanders. And he's telling the Cleveland media that their dishonest coverage is unacceptable. The fact that Jamie Foxx had to say anything at all tells you how bad this situation has gotten. The media has been so reckless, so dishonest, and so biased in their coverage of Shedeur that people outside of football are noticing it. They're seeing the pattern. They're seeing the lies. And they're calling it out. Because this isn't journalism. This is character assassination disguised as sports coverage. Shedeur hasn't done anything to deserve this kind of treatment. He hasn't been disrespectful. He hasn't been lazy. He hasn't been a problem in the locker room. But the Cleveland media keeps inventing stories to make him look bad. They keep twisting his words. They keep creating drama where there is none. And now Deion and Jamie Foxx are saying enough. Knock it off. Stop the lies. Tell the truth or don't say anything at all. And the beautiful thing is that this is just the beginning. Deion Sanders has a platform. Jamie Foxx has a platform. And together, they're about to shine a spotlight on every dishonest reporter in Cleveland who's been spreading false narratives about Shedeur. The media can't hide anymore. They can't keep lying without consequences. Because now they're being called out publicly by people who refuse to let this continue. Jamie Foxx didn't have to get involved. He could have stayed silent. But he chose to speak up because he knows what's right. And what's right is standing up for a young man who's being treated unfairly by people who are supposed to be reporting facts, not fiction. Knock it off, Cleveland media. The world is watching, and you're being exposed.
And it's not that they didn't think Shedeur had that kind of a high football acumen, because he does. But he was starting a little bit back further in the process of all the things that you have to.
And right here is where the lies start falling apart. Listen to the way this reporter talks. First, they throw out a backhanded compliment saying Shedeur has high football acumen. But then immediately, they undercut it by claiming he was starting further back in the process. Starting back where? According to who? Based on what evidence? None. Because this is a made-up narrative designed to make it seem like Shedeur wasn't ready, wasn't prepared, and wasn't good enough. And it's complete nonsense. This is exactly the kind of dishonest reporting that Deion Sanders is calling out. They say one thing that sounds reasonable, and then they slip in a lie hoping nobody notices. But people are noticing. Deion is noticing. Jamie Foxx is noticing. And fans are noticing. Because the truth is, Shedeur Sanders has never been behind in the process. He's been ahead. He's been more prepared than most rookies. And the only people saying otherwise are reporters with an agenda. Shedeur Sanders came into the NFL with more experience than almost any quarterback in his draft class. He played at a high level in college. He studied film constantly. He worked with his father, a Hall of Famer, to develop his game. He understood offensive systems better than most veterans. So where exactly was he starting back in the process? The answer is nowhere. This is a narrative created out of thin air to justify bad coaching decisions and protect Kevin Stefanski from criticism. And that's the problem with the Cleveland media. They're not interested in reporting the truth. They're interested in protecting the organization. So when Stefanski makes terrible decisions, they invent reasons why it's not his fault. They blame Shedeur. They say he wasn't ready. They say he needed more development. They say he was starting back in the process. But none of it is true, and Deion Sanders is calling them out for it. Shedeur has done everything asked of him. He's learned the playbook. He's built chemistry with his receivers. He's shown up every single day ready to compete. But the media keeps moving the goalposts. First, they said he wasn't tough enough. Then they said he wasn't a leader. Now they're saying he wasn't ready. What's the excuse going to be next week? Because no matter what Shedeur does, they find a way to criticize him. And that's not journalism. That's bias. The reporter in this clip tried to sound neutral, tried to sound fair, but the words reveal the truth. They're pushing a narrative, and Deion Sanders sees right through it. He's been around long enough to know how this game is played. He knows how the media protects certain coaches while destroying certain players. And he's not going to let them do it to his son without a fight. This is why Deion reposted Jamie Foxx's comment. Because people need to see what's happening. They need to understand that the Cleveland media isn't reporting facts. They're creating stories. They're spinning narratives. And they're doing it to protect the wrong people while destroying the right ones. But it's not going to work anymore. Because Deion Sanders is exposing them. And the truth is coming out whether they like it or not.
So for the narrative that
he been in the office with Kevin Stefanski, Mary Kay, quit lying.
Out there that Kevin Stefanski has tried to sabotage him.
He
doesn't like him.
And right here, Deion Sanders drops the hammer. Mary Kay, quit lying. That's not subtle. That's not diplomatic. That's Deion Sanders calling out a specific reporter by name and accusing her of spreading false information about his son. And you know what? He's absolutely right to do it. Because Mary Kay has been pushing a narrative that Shedeur has been in meetings with Kevin Stefanski, working through issues and being part of the process. And according to people who actually know what's happening, that's a complete lie. Mary Kay quit lying. Those 4 words are about to send shockwaves through Cleveland's media landscape. Because Deion Sanders just drew a line in the sand. He's not going to sit back and let reporters make up stories about his son anymore. He's going to call them out publicly. He's going to expose their lies. And he's going to make sure everyone knows exactly who's been spreading false narratives. Think about how serious this is. Deion Sanders is accusing a reporter of lying. Not speculating. Not exaggerating. Lying. That means Mary Kay reported something as fact that she knew wasn't true. Or, at the very least, she reported something without verifying it because it fit the narrative she wanted to push. Either way, it's dishonest journalism, and Deion is holding her accountable for it. The narrative Mary Kay pushed was that Shedeur has been in the office with Stefanski, meaning he's been involved in game planning, in scheme discussions, and in building the offense. That narrative makes it seem like Shedeur is part of the problem, because if he's in all these meetings and the offense is still struggling, then clearly it must be his fault, right? Wrong, because according to Deion, those meetings never happened. Mary Kay made it up. She invented it to protect Stefanski and blame Shedeur, and now she's being exposed for it. This is the kind of thing that destroys a young quarterback's reputation. When reporters lie and say you've been involved in decisions you haven't made, fans start blaming you for failures that aren't yours. They start questioning your football IQ. They start wondering if you're the problem. And all of it is based on a lie. But the damage is done. The narrative is out there. And Shedeur has to deal with the consequences of something he never did. Deion Sanders is doing what every father should do. He's protecting his son. He's standing up for the truth. And he's calling out the people who are trying to destroy Shedeur's reputation with false information. Mary Kay quit lying. That's not just about one reporter. That's a message to every journalist in Cleveland who thinks they can spread lies without consequences. Deion is watching, and he's not going to let it slide. The Cleveland media has gotten away with this for too long. They've been able to push whatever narrative they want without being challenged. But now they have a problem. Now they're going up against Deion Sanders. And Deion has a platform, a voice, and the receipts to prove they're lying. Mary Kay and every other reporter who's been dishonest about Shedeur better be ready. Because Coach Prime is coming for all of them, and he's bringing the truth with him.
Think back to the pre-draft process and the slanted, unfair, and biased coverage of Shedeur Sanders, whether it was his connection to his father, whether it was envy, or if it was something that he symbolized.
And this is the most important point of all. This isn't new. This didn't just start when Shedeur got to Cleveland. This has been happening since before he was even drafted. Ryan Clark just said it perfectly. Think back to the pre-draft process. The coverage of Shedeur Sanders was slanted, unfair, and biased from the very beginning. And it's continued every single week since he entered the league. Before the draft, the media questioned everything about Shedeur. They said he was overrated. They said he only looked good because of his father's coaching. They said he wouldn't be able to handle NFL pressure. They said he was too cocky. They said he wouldn't fit in a locker room. And none of it was based on tape. None of it was based on performance. It was all narrative. It was all bias. And it was all designed to tear him down before he even had a chance to prove himself. Slanted, unfair, and biased. Those 3 words describe the coverage Shedeur Sanders has received from day one. And the question is, why? Why has the media treated him this way? Why have they been so determined to make him look bad? The answer is obvious. Because he's Deion Sanders' son. Because he's confident. Because he's talented. And because certain people in the media can't stand seeing a young black quarterback succeed without struggle, without humility, and without playing the game the way they think he should. Ryan Clark sees it. Deion Sanders sees it. Jamie Foxx sees it. And millions of fans see it. The media has had it out for Shedeur since the beginning. And now that he's in Cleveland, dealing with a coach who doesn't support him and an organization that's dysfunctional, the media is piling on even harder. They're blaming him for everything. They're inventing stories. They're spreading lies. And they're doing it because they want to be right about their pre-draft narratives. Before the draft, they said Shedeur wouldn't make it. They said he'd struggle. They said he wasn't ready. And when he got to Cleveland and started dealing with terrible coaching, they saw an opportunity to say, "See, we told you so." Never mind the fact that no quarterback could succeed in that situation. Never mind the fact that Stefanski's play calling has been atrocious. Never mind the fact that the offensive line has been a disaster. The media found a way to blame Shedeur, and they've been doubling down on it ever since. But Deion Sanders is exposing the pattern. He's showing the world that this isn't about football. This is about bias. This is about reporters who decided they didn't like Shedeur before they ever gave him a fair chance. And now they're twisting every story to fit the narrative they created months ago. They're lying about meetings that never happened. They're making up stories about his work ethic. They're doing everything they can to tear him down. And Deion is calling them out for all of it. The pre-draft coverage was just the beginning. The Cleveland coverage is the continuation. And if Deion doesn't step in and expose these lies, it's only going to get worse. Because the media has momentum now. They've convinced some fans that Shedeur is the problem. They've convinced some analysts that he's not ready. And they're using that momentum to justify even more dishonest reporting. But Coach Prime is putting a stop to it. He's drawing a line. And he's making it clear that anyone who lies about his son is going to be exposed. This is bigger than Shedeur Sanders. This is about holding the media accountable. This is about demanding honesty in sports journalism. This is about making sure that young athletes, especially young black athletes, get fair coverage instead of biased narratives designed to tear them down. And Deion Sanders is leading that fight right now. He's using his platform. He's calling out reporters by name. And he's showing the world exactly what's been happening to his son. Ryan Clark said it best. The coverage has been slanted, unfair, and biased. And Deion Sanders just proved it by exposing the lies, calling out the reporters, and bringing people like Jamie Foxx into the conversation to back him up. Cleveland media, your credibility is on the line. You've been caught lying. You've been caught pushing false narratives. And now the entire world is watching to see if you're going to own up to it or keep digging yourselves deeper. Deion Sanders just destroyed the Cleveland media. He exposed their lies. He called them out by name. And he did it with receipts. Mary Kay, quit lying. Cleveland media, knock it off. And to everyone watching, pay attention to who's telling the truth and who's spinning narratives. Because Coach Prime just showed you exactly how the game is played. If you're tired of dishonest media coverage and you support Deion and Shedeur Sanders, drop a like and subscribe for more truth. Do you think the Cleveland media will apologize? Or are they going to keep lying? Let me know in the comments.